to managing emotional eating. A common problem people face whenever they are hiring a nutritionist or trying to follow a meal plan online or going for one of these fad diets is they're great for dealing with physiological changes, right? In order to lose weight, you exercise more and eat less. And that's good advice, except for it doesn't really touch on the area of psychological change, the things that we feel that cause us to eat, which is emotional eating. The two common reasons people emotionally eat is one, they're not very good at identifying the body's signals for emotions, for hunger, for thirst, for tiredness, boredom. And the second one is they've never really learned to manage their emotions, and so they try to avoid or suppress the ones that they don't want to experience, and then replace them with something that makes them feel good, like eating. We have to understand that there's certain things we can control. We can control the food in our environment. If we live on our own, we can control what kind of foods are in the pantry and fridge, right? And then there's things that we can't control, like when emotion pops up. We can deal with that emotion, but we're going to feel things. And it's important to find what triggered that emotion and what are our common behaviors. What are the things that we normally do when we feel those things? Take a look at yourself and try to remember back over the last week. When any of those emotions arose, how did you respond to them? If you had a stressful call, did you want to grab something to snack afterwards? Did you stop for fast food on the way home? How do you personally deal with different emotions? Take a look at the list. There's three main common ones, and see which ones apply to you. Now, it's even more important to recognize the triggers and then try to have a plan in place to dealing with these triggers. Again, you'll have to take a look back over your work week and see what things come up. It could be something at school, it could be something with a partner, but it starts with being conscious of what our body is saying to us. So when you feel hungry the next time, stop and think. Am I thirsty? Stressed? Is there emotion I'm trying to avoid? Did something happen that sparked this? Now, dealing with emotions is one of the most important things we can do with our entire life. And I found a great way of looking at emotions. Tony Robbins actually has a thing called action signals, where every emotion is actually something that signals an action in us. There are 10 of these, and it'll be really good if you can memorize these and then apply them as they come up. The first one is discomfort, boredom, right? Feeling kind of impatient. And this is a signal that we need to clarify what we want and then take a small action towards getting that. If we feel bored, start cleaning up your space and then you'll know exactly what to do. You can also relax, watch a movie, play a video game. But if you're feeling bored and hungry, try to do something that's better for your goal, better for your space. The next emotion is fear, concern, worry, all these things. And this is a signal that we need to get prepared to deal with whatever's upcoming, whatever's causing us to feel fearful. Now, I believe that you can always be more prepared. Sometimes you can take a couple of actions. With this current situation in the world, maybe you're feeling fearful of it. And so maybe you should buy some food rations or something that makes you feel safer. Fear is an emotion in us that's trying to get us to survive. If we have a test coming and we're feeling fearful, try preparing by studying more, trying to go over the material. Another great option for dealing with fear is if we're afraid of something something irrational like ghost, is go online and see other people who've dealt with the same kind of fears. Some fears are rational, like fear of heights. However it is, whenever you're feeling these things, either look to others of how they've dealt with it or find a way to be better prepared. The next thing is hurt or sadness. Again, it's okay to feel these things and it's very healthy. A lot of people actually don't feel them. They try to suppress it. It is okay to be sad. A lot of us are sad for different reasons. Maybe, sadness over a loss. Feel that, but don't live there. Find a way to overcome this. So, with sadness, it's what you want to do is find a way to express the sadness. Anytime I'm sad, I'll turn to playing music or something. A lot of people find expression through music with it. Also, evaluate why you feel this way and if there's really any real loss. Sometimes people are sad over a loss of a relationship when the relationship ended a long time ago. But whatever it is, feel it, express it, and then find a way to evaluate yourself and then keep moving forward. The next one is anger. Now, anger is very common in people, and it is healthy, but how we express it is the key to dealing with anger. There's tons of books on anger management, tons of courses on it, and they all kind of boil it down. When you feel angry about something, this is a signal that an important life rule, right? Something like one of your core values has been violated, right? And it could be by somebody else or it could be by you. So you need to find a way to, one, express this anger, to get this off your chest. I like to work out, good exercise, go for a good run, so that you can have clarity of thought. Communicating with others while angry is never a good idea. You never say the things you want. You're never clear-minded enough to think before you speak. So express your anger until it's all out. Use up all that excess energy. And then from there, you can communicate your needs more effectively to others. You can communicate them to yourself better. But find a way to express that anger. Everything will tell you pretty much the same. The next one is frustration, which is kind of leading up to anger, right? Maybe you're frustrated about doing the same thing over and over, and you're expecting different results, but you're not going to get them. Or maybe you were expecting something else and it never happened, and so you're left feeling frustrated. What you want to do is reposition your mindset on this to understand and practice empathy towards others and yourself. And look at other ways people have overcome this, right? So if you're constantly feeling frustrated in a situation, like maybe school's taking too long and you're feeling frustrated, and when you feel frustrated you eat because it feels like there's no end to it, is look at all the graduating people, right? Feel comfort in that. Feel that there is an end, and you just have to take those steps to study, prepare, plan, everything you need to. And then try different things. Try to learn something new. Try some different techniques. So if you keep getting the same thing, you're frustrated with a car because you're trying to fix it, try a different technique or a different way of looking at things. There's only two things you can change: your perception or your procedure. Now for the next emotion, it's guilt. And guilt is a very useful emotion, right? This means that you have violated a standard, one of your values. And it's good to feel that because it teaches you that what you did wasn't okay. We're all human. We all screw up. Now, when you're feeling this, instead of eating, you should, one, make amends. If you can make the situation right or give a sincere apology, you can do as much as you can to show that you're apologetic for it. But at the end of the day, sometimes there's nothing you can do to change it or fix it. And so you have to accept it and then learn from it so that it never happens again. So think of how can you make sure that you learn something from this experience so that you don't behave the way you did in the past. Maybe you broke something of someone's and you can just replace it or fix it. Then make an action towards that. Make a plan of how you'll save up enough to help them fix it. Whatever it is, right? But it's an action signal for that. Now the next one is inadequacy. A lot of people feel inadequate about a lot of things. Currently, there's all these trends of like body image and all this stuff and people shaming, and it's like in your face about what you should be, right? You got to be tall, handsome, thin, whatever it may be. If you're feeling inadequate, Find something about yourself that you can improve and improve. Learn a new instrument. Do something that makes you feel confident. Take an action that's going to make you a better version of yourself. And then for things that you can't change, weight is something you can change for the most part, but height you can't. So if you are feeling like maybe you're a girl and you're way too tall, you feel inadequate, there's a very important lesson in this that you have to practice self-love. You have to accept yourself for you. It doesn't matter what everyone else says. If there's something about you that you can't change, learn to love it. Find the best in it. For some things, you can always cover up. Or if you're not as attractive as you want to be, you can wear makeup. Or if you're too short, you can wear high heels. Whatever that is, you can adjust it. But at the end of the day, you really need to accept those things you can't change. And if you can change it, make a small action towards improving it. Little by little. That's how anything is done. Small steps. The next one is feeling overloaded. Now, this is very common in today's world, right? You just got way too much on your plate. What I call this is feeling listlessness. And I solve this by creating lists. I prioritize everything. I make charts and files, and I try to organize my mind so I can get a grasp of what the task is, what the task involves, what small actions I can take to accomplishing it, and then I start. I do something, even something small. So if you're constantly feeling overloaded, a lot of people, I had so much to do, so I did nothing. Well, take an action instead. A lot of people feel overloaded. They eat, take a nap. Don't do that. It will not lead towards the best outcome. Instead, organize it and see what the most prioritized thing is, what's the most important thing you have to do, and then take a step towards it. The last thing is, of course, is lonely, a very hard one. Now, this is really an action signal that you want connection, and it's very hard sometimes to get that. But first, try to clarify what is the action or what is the connection you want to feel. Are you looking for a friend, a partner, something romantic? Are you looking for anything? If you can make the call, make the call. If you can text someone, text them. That's great. Reach out to somebody if you need and you have that. If not, download a dating app and just kind of connect with people that way. Go onto a social group that you're interested in and chat. Go on YouTube videos and comment on people's videos. Do something that causes you to engage with others. And then you won't feel so lonely. You'll feel connected. Maybe go on Twitter or something and start tweeting or whatever. Do something that makes you feel connected. Now, for all of these emotions, right, it's important to understand that they're action signals. They are literally just that. They're not anything deeper. There's nothing wrong with feeling them. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to admit I feel lonely, as if there's something to be shamed. But there isn't. You want connection. We all want connection. And so just see it as it is. It's just something that you can take an action on. And when you take an action towards it, it will improve. And the better you get at this, the better your entire life will be. Not just your weight loss or muscle gain journey, but your overall mental and physical health. Your career will improve, your relationships will get better, everything. Learn to control your emotions. Now, I do have a couple of exercises in the workbook, and I highly recommend doing them. For example, the trigger one. List all the triggers. Find what really is. And sometimes you're going to have to journal for a couple of weeks to find pretty much all the areas in which you feel these things, and then find solutions. Go through your emotions and see how they make you feel. Do all the exercises in this one, and really spend some time here controlling your emotions, learning how emotional eating affects you. Make sure that you create a list of all the specific mood boosters at the end. What causes you happiness? Make a whole list of things that you know that you can turn to that's going to improve your mood. And track it. For example, after a workout, I always feel better. There's never been a time where I worked out and was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. In the 3,000 times I've exercised, it has consistently made me feel better. Of course, I exercise for fun, but that's in a whole nother course. But find what makes you happy and do that. Maybe you like dancing, and every time you dance you feel good, or painting, or playing the guitar or piano. Make a list of what makes you happy, and then go and explore it. And then when you're dwelling in these lower emotions, go ahead and boost your mood. Practice self-love. Go over the last chapter of motivation and feel inspired. Get motivated about something. Well, that's it for controlling emotions. The next chapter is a very specific emotion that affects us all: how to manage stress.